Brought to you by...
The floodgates have been opened, friends. It's no secret that in recent years, the horror genre has opened its doors further to a new level of creative freedom. It has allowed for writers and filmmakers to more heavily bring their political and social commentaries to the forefront of their artistic vision. In some cases, like Jordan Peele's Us and Get Out, it has created a unique experience that elevates the horror and... In some cases, like Jordan Peele's Us and Get Out, it has created a unique experience that elevates the horror of the narrative by bringing it a little closer to home. In others, however, we are forced to learn the lesson that shoving your agendas in the audience's face leads only to a horrendously unenjoyable experience. What the actual fuck, friends? I honestly don't even know how to talk about this one without offending the overly sensitive. As someone who bases his channel around my own personal thoughts and opinions regarding the art of others, I absolutely hate being faced with a situation like this. Here I am attempting to review a film that seems geared toward a very specific and often aggressively angry demographic. Yet I have always strived to maintain my honesty about my thoughts and opinions here for my viewers. I would like to assume that anyone who chooses to watch these videos is here to objectively hear out my ideas, and at least consider another viewpoint. That being said, I'm going to give this a whirl. This year, Hawthorne College is quieting down for the holidays as students travel home to spend time with their families. But as Riley and her sorority sisters prepare to deck the halls with seasonal parties, a mysterious cloaked figure starts to leave a bloody trail throughout the campus. Refusing to become hapless victims, Riley and her friends decide to band together to fight back against the psychotic Christmas killer. This is the latest rendition of Black Christmas. Let me start by saying, wow. After suffering us through an overly dull introductory kill sequence, you missed a golden fucking opportunity to have the perfect fucking title screen there, Blumhouse fuckboys. Yeah, let's blame them. Because I can't personally believe that the director would be so absent-minded enough to miss out on something so fucking obvious. The core group of ditzy sorority teens is quickly introduced to us through a series of airhead dialogue scenes and openly shameless acts that make the characters feel forcefully edgy for no reason other than to push the reactions of the audience. I have no complaints when it comes to the performances given throughout the film. Everyone seems to deliver strongly on their dialogue and present a great range of emotions throughout. Carrie Elwes does a great job as always, portraying this prim and proper professor with that classic edge of darkness that he achieves so well. Our protagonist here in particular is designed to be a generally kind and collected young girl who seems to carry some sort of burden. We do later find out that she is carrying around the trauma of assault, which I do think helped make her character more engaging and relatable to people who may or may not have experienced similar situations in life. It's hard not to think that this film was attempting to play off of the success of Jordan Peele's recent work, trading out one social issue for another and focusing on feminism and women's issues rather than black oppression. It creates an antagonistic presence that targets unsuspecting women, more specifically those who do not easily fall in line, possibly for a belief that women as a whole are inferior. The film goes the extra mile to present men only as either misogynistic animals or hapless and weak-willed. Literally, every male character we meet throughout the narrative is a rude, arrogant dick who treat the girls as if they aren't worth the air that they breathe. Then we are introduced to a male character who seems genuinely kind and caring, albeit weak, damaged, and utterly nerdy. But considering every other guy that we have met, we immediately start to assume that he is destined to take some sort of turn toward the dark side, or wind up secretly working with the antagonist of the film in some form. Some of my biggest problems with this one were related to its construction. The writing of the film is overly bland. Many of the more mundane dialogue scenes that bridge the gaps of the film feel wooden and awkward, as if the actors just made up their dialogue on their own because they were missing pages from their scripts. On top of that, this film takes some of the key aspects of the seminal film and water them down until they are nothing more than poor, faded elements of something we once knew and loved. There's a false scare moment that involves a phone call, clearly playing on the phone calls from the original film. This moment made me want to throw up in my mouth. It plays off of the obscene moaning and groaning by trading them for phone distortions and glitching, which wind up literally being a bad connection. What's worse is that they trade off the continuous phone calls for ominous text messages. I understand that phone calls aren't as relevant these days, but come the fuck on. This was a staple of the original film, for God's sake. We also completely trade off the voyeuristic killer for a womanizing, misogynistic cult of pig-headed frat boys. For some reason, there's also a sequence done in an overly long take that is very clearly homaging the most infamous scene from Exorcist 3. The greatest sin being that the most iconic image from the original film is essentially tossed out the fucking window, cheapening its impact in every possible way. Visually, the locations and look of the film are presented in an appealing and often breathtaking manner. However, this film literally couldn't lay on the foreshadowing any thicker with a fucking cement truck. Honestly, I just don't fucking understand what the fuck the idea behind this film was. It attempts to take the namesake of a far greater and more impactful film and twist it towards a man-hating feminist agenda that only serves to shove its moral quandaries down our throats at every possible turn, while dragging the name Black Christmas through the fucking mud. This type of filmmaking is one of the major issues with bringing political and social commentary so heavily into your storytelling in this manner. Sometimes it's just taken too far too fast by those who are not equipped to handle it properly. I wholeheartedly feel that it can be a great thing to work in your views on certain topics into your storytelling, but this was an example of an extremely lazy attempt. The film feels like a sloppy mess and could have been done with far more tact. As it stands now, it just comes off as completely ham-fisted. I'm giving Black Christmas 2019 an F. I can't stress enough, friends, when it comes to something of this nature, subtlety should always be the first priority. Much of the film's issues could have been fixed by playing things for subtext or just being slightly a bit more subtle. In this case, I feel that the first remake in 2006 is the way to go. Sure, the tone of the film changed, but it did things properly by building on the mythology of its predecessor. This film just threw the core concept out the fucking window and gave us a piss-poor attempt at a Lovecraftian brainwashing cult concept. Kind of like Disturbing Behavior or Soul Survivor, now that I think about it. If I had to leave with any final thought on this one, it would be to just stay far, far away and have a happy and enjoyable Christmas without it. Hello friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to show your support for what we do here, please consider supporting ETF on Patreon. We don't expect much, but every little bit helps us grow and create more content for you all to enjoy. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.